This morning, Jacques introduced me to Bertrand.
I have to put it in my pocket.
He said, I want to introduce you to my uncle or my nephew. Okay. And when you see Jacques, you will understand that it's mildly amusing. I just said, well, I was born at night and my nephew was born during the day. So that's Jacques. He's a storyteller. And because he's a storyteller, he's only put 7 slides together with the introduction and the final. So these 5 slides. So it gives him some room to actually tell you a story. This is probably the youngest site, the youngest implementation, Jacques.
Yeah.
And when we were preparing a few weeks ago, the team and Franklin, who was not here, the CI manager, felt they didn't have much to share with you. They were a bit anxious, which is surprising coming from them. But as I said earlier on, it's been with both Madagascar and Ivory Coast for me. I've witnessed the fastest and the deepest implementation. And one of the things that which is common to both sides, there's a very strong sense and desire to integrate whatever is being done from the MBU process, as they call it, into the quality management system. And we've had several workshops in that regard. The good thing is that they are so far away that when I go there, I've got time, and we've got time to think together. And one of the things that we've been trying to do is to see how does the MBU process can become the engine of the quality management system. And here I'm talking about ISO 9001-2015. So that was a topic that we started to discuss, but they feel they're not ready, even though they've been working a lot on it. So they changed at the last minute the topic, and they looked at more in terms of what are the systems that we're putting in place to not just drive MDW, but also all the aspects of continuous improvement projects. What does it look like from a visual management viewpoint, and how does it articulate from the top down? So I'm going to hand over to you, Jacques.
Thank you.
That's forward, and that's the pointer.
That's your pointer. Okay, thank you, Pierre, for introducing me. I'm Jacques Bouende, a Congolese guy from a French-speaking country. I'm working in Ivory Coast, French-speaking country. And this morning when Robert said that English will be a challenge for somebody, he was talking about me. But I want to assure you that for the next summit, my English will be better because I'm continuously improving my English. I'm going to talk about our journey to excellence, but the title should be the factory manager journey to excellence. What could be the concern from the factory manager who is responsible for MBU implementation in the factory? Believe me, your life could be very difficult. You can lose your hair, so you can see the result on my head. So before jumping into the topic, a few words about our factory. We are located in Ivory Coast, here, very nice country. We have founded since 60 years, very old factory. And Ivory Coast is a lead factory for West Africa. That consists on 5 factories. So I'm responsible for Ivory Coast, where I'm based. Responsible also for Senegal, responsible for Mali, responsible for Burkina, and we have also a printing facility in Abidjan. Producing blanks for our product. The market we are delivering, it's a local market, of course. We have producing cataract for Burkina Faso and Mali, cigarette for Senegal, for Niger, Togo, and Benin. And since the beginning of the year, we are producing also for Gabon. Our main brand are fine for Ivory Coast and West. Hamilton for Burkina Faso. Hamilton is going very well. It's the main brand in Burkina Faso. We have also Houston for Senegal and Gabon. Excellence mainly for Senegal. We have approximately 160 people. We have a 6.5 billion cigarette capacity per year, and we are producing almost 3.5 billion per year. So we still have enough capacity for future development. We are certified quality, environment, and security. And we are embarked in the MBU process because we have a group vision. The group vision is to demonstrate cost leadership at competitive quality. So the area we are focusing on, the main driver is capability development, agility, and conversion cost. Why? Because we are operating in a very VUCA world, what we call VUCA world. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. We can face real storm because the environment is becoming more aggressive. The competitors are becoming more aggressive, and we are facing also some change in the regulation. For example, now in Chad, for example, and in the coming month for West Africa, we are obliged to put some pictorial on the blanks. So it's a very big challenge for us, and no choice for us. We need to remain competitive externally and internally. And what is the response? The response is to implement MBU in our factory in Ivory Coast, but in all the factory in West Africa and in all the factory within the group. So as you can see, we have a group vision, a very global challenge, and we need a global strategy. And the global strategy is MBU is our common strategy to move forward. That is a statement. But how we will manage all the things to make it happen? And I'm convinced that implementing successfully the MBU in our factory, you have to take into account the cultural aspect. Very important. While the fundamental still the same, but there is some difference in terms of approach. When you are running MBU in Taiwan, for example, or Laos, or Ivory Coast, or Morocco. So we think this aspect is very important. Cultural aspect is very important because when we are talking about MBU, we are talking about people. And we have to listen from the people in order to know what is the belief from the people, what is the culture, what is the environment. If you don't listen from the environment, I think your chance to succeed will be reduced. And as a factory manager, my concern is how I'm going to deal with the culture aspect in my factory in order to prepare the ground for the MBU. Very important. Because, you know, in most of the country in Africa, the notion of the boss, of the chief, it's very strong. Because the chief is a kind of Superman telling what to do, sometimes telling how to do things, knowing everything, a kind of automatic solution provider. And in Africa, we are working like that for many, many, many years. So you have to manage both sides, from the front line and from the management team. And you are sitting between as a factory manager. On the right, you have the people on the ground, where you see enthusiasm to do things, because they move from a situation where they have nothing to the situation where you are getting everything, training, tools, and so on, to make them capable to reach goal by themselves. So very big excitation and very big happiness from the people. And the right, you see your manager with a very big concern. Oh, how strange is this animal called MBU? What is my future in the MBU? What about my power on the people? Because the people will be like me, because they will be capable to solve the issue. So what is my role? And the work we have is to explain to the people what is the benefit from that. And we spend a lot of time discussing with the people on the ground to explain what is the benefits for them. Spending a lot of time, spending a lot of energy. And at the end, the question from them is, no, you don't understand our question. The question is about money. You have to explain it. Okay, it's a main concern for the people, money, but the benefit for you is more visibility, is skill enhancement, and that will allow you to progress in your career in the company. So you will get, finally, you will get money. And from the management, you have to explain, we explain that, no, we still need you in the organization, but you have to learn a new job. The new job is you to be the coach. We know it's not simple. We will bring you the support you need for your new job. It is not simple. It is not simple. I would like to thank my colleague Bertrand, who was introducing the company Imperial Tobacco, and Robert and Jacques, who well talk about the MBU process we start to implement in Madagascar and in Ivory Coast. The concern for the factory manager is how to deal with the culture, how to explain people, how to have people on board for the journey to excellence. So if I'm talking about the the notion of the boss or the chief is very, very important. And it's part of the belief from the people. And for an example, I would like to invite my colleague to Bertrand. Could you tell us a short story? What you experience in Morocco in terms of chief, of the boss, and could influence all we want to put in place concerning MBU in our factories.
I was not expecting to present twice, believe me.
It's a teamwork, you know.
It's a teamwork.
Yeah.
No, I was telling a story at lunch to Jacques, and he said that would be good to share it. So I'm basically working on a shop floor in the factory, and we have an issue on a maker. And the maker is the part of our machines which is making the cigarettes. So we have makers and packers, basically. And I'm talking with the operator, and you know what's going on, and you have an assembly issue there, and I'm starting to coach him on problem solving, basically. And at a point, that, you know, in Morocco, and we have the same thing in our African factories, we have a very deep and complex technical hierarchy. So you basically have a standard operator, an operator setter, then you have a setter, then you have a technician, a superior technician, a master technician, a maintenance coordinator, and I might miss one level, but it goes very deep. And at a point, you know, I'm really talking with the operator, and the technician comes and knocks my shoulder and says, sorry, boss, but you know, don't listen to this guy. I'm the technician, so I know what's going on with the machine. And I guess you've been facing those stories in your plants as well. But that's typically what we face in our operations in Africa and in Morocco, which is Africa as well, by the way. It's really having such a deep embedded culture of I'm the boss or I'm the superior technician, therefore the guy on the shop floor knows nothing. And as Jacques said, when you start giving a voice to those guys on the shop floor, it goes very quickly, but you need to manage the guy who is knocking on your shoulder and telling you, I'm the specialist, I know. That was the story, Jacques.
Thank you, Bertrand. And another point is the supervisor in the factory of the supervisor in the factory of the chief in the factory is in holiday, for example, and we have a breakdown on the machine in the factory, and people are blocked because they never know how to sort out the issue. So they send one guy to the chief. The chief is on holiday, he's at home. Oh, sorry to disturb you. We have a breakdown in the machine in the factory. Oh, how could you disturb my holidays? Oh. And he say to his wife, sorry, my darling, I have to go to the factory. They're not capable to sort out this issue. And he's working very heavily. And his wife say, how lucky I am to have the Superman as a husband. So we made a plan because it's a journey. So the plan and phase 0, a mini business unit phase 1, and structured phase, and mini business unit phase 2. But when you are responsible to running the MBU in the factory, don't stand up here. You have to jump here. To jump to the sustainability phase. And ask yourself how to put in place a sustainable MBU process. Being here and back here. And when you are asking this question, I think you have a lot of chance to succeed. So, for us, we did operational review implementation, basic problem solving, simple tools, the 5 why, go see, think and do, planned maintenance improvement. And we did it by ourselves. And from April, we get the support from CDI for the FreeNov, MBU process, coaching for performance, 5S visual workplace. It's quite new because we start with Pierre 2 weeks ago, and we have planned for December a coaching review. And in the phase 2, we plan to have asset care, problem solving, and waste elimination. But what is the most important period for us is here. We plan it for 4 or 6 months, but it could be longer, because we want to have the time to digest all the things we have put in place, because here is about the culture, and you know, the culture it takes time to change. And the concern from the factory manager is, once again, how to deal with the culture to put in place a sustainable MBU process. But it's not for you to change the world in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. The strategy we have adopted is to know exactly what is the main belief from the people, for what the people feel proud. And in Ivory Coast, the main things is for the people is recognition. It's recognition, because people like to make the difference from the over. But it's not the individual recognition. We have working for team recognition. And it's a leverage for us to run the MBU process. And Pierre participated on the MBU meeting, level 1, level 2. And there is a strong culture for recognition. When we reach a good result, we applaud. We say, 1, 2, 3, blah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you learn. And I want to tell you one thing which is important for us, the choice of the team leader. You are not a team leader because you are the most skilled of the team. At the first stage, the people of the team nominate the team leader. It comes from the people, or the team member, with a rotation, to give to the all team member opportunity to lead meeting and so on, to be a team leader. And we have seen a fantastic result, because we have discovered some talent. Why? Because we have created a space for them to express themselves. Very, very powerful. We did the true north. The advantage we had that we already had a vision. This is our vision. It's the outcome from brainstorming we have with the management team. The question was, how do you see our factory in 10 years? We talk about a chair, we talk about, the younger manager talk about a rocket. So we have a rocket here. The base lunch is our value, the value of the company. And the most important thing is related to the people. And we have two engines here, capability and engagement. And MBU respond to the capability, because MBU is about capability, training, giving the tool to the people. MBU is also something which facilitates engagement of the people, because they feel more confident. They feel that the management trusts them and they are capable to achieve goals by themselves. And we have two arms supported the rocket when firing, health and safety. Health and safety and health and safety. Jacques talked about safety is a priority. And also the satisfaction of the consumer. We have here scheduled attainment because the product must be available on the market. And all we are doing, we think quality is the main axis of the rocket and the mean to reach our objective of world-class performance facility is a lean, to become a lean factory. So that is our vision. And we set a strategic objective, 3 years plan with 7 objectives. So, and one of the pillars of the MBU process is the MBU audit. And the objective for us is not to look after the highest result, but the lowest. At the lowest, we gave some score, 30 within 50. And what we did, we organized a workshop to build our 3 years operation master plan at the BU 3 level. And in front of each strategic objective, you have a number of projects linked to each strategic objective. And it's very powerful. And we cascade the same master plan at the BU2 level. But here it's a yearly plan. It's a three years plan. And each member at BU3 level or BU2 level have to manage a project. Work in progress, because we start only five months ago, but we are confident. We are confident to reach our target. Just train young staff, but sometimes you have to mix old employee with a young, and the young are bringing a dynamism and so on. We had aboard the staff from other factory like Burkina Faso, but at the beginning in Madagascar we sent some people from Ivory Coast to Madagascar, and when we implement MBU in Ivory Coast, we receive some colleagues from Burkina. Thank you, Pierre. Very good coaching skill of CDI consultant. Not coming in the factory and telling us, you must do this, you must like that. No, just to try to understand the way of we are working in the factory and bring the support and for us to keep the cap, to keep the fundamental, the MBU fundamental. Thanks for that, Pierre. Phase 0 implementation was also a fantastic phase because we did it by ourselves. It's a good example of what we can achieve in the factory. And very good benchmark with Madagascar. Madagascar was the pilot for the region. And we share information with Madagascar, and Madagascar it was still a good benchmark for us. That's the best benchmark. A benchmark. And a good experience also from the continuous improvement team in the factory. The opportunity, we are the first factory in West Africa region to implement MBU. We benefit from a good leadership from our hierarchy. We have the opportunity to reinforce benchmark in upper region, and we will see if Madagascar is still a best benchmark. And people, it's opportunity for the people to be part of something valuable for the business. I think it's very important. The weakness is low leadership skill of some member of the management. We could have two things, or they have understood what we want to achieve, but there's no willingness from them. So we have the MBU1, MBU2, MBU3, but now too many operational issues discussed at the BU3 level, because the BU2 is not working as we expected. So we have start a one-on-one discussion with some of the managers in order to know what is the concern from them and what kind of support we can bring. The truth is, West Africa is far from South Africa, so we need less longer and more frequent visit. Will be better for us for a support. I know, Pierre, maybe your agenda don't allow you to travel frequently, but that is our SWOT diagram. Definitively, what we have learned is you have to take into account the cultural aspect. It's very, very important. Not to change the culture immediately, but to surf on the wave. You know the culture, you are at this side of the wave, so you have to surf to get the other side and to get people embarked and get people walking on the same direction. Thank you very much. It was the kick-off ceremony of the MBU in Bouende.
Thank you very much.
Could you speak slowly, please? Because my English is not perfect, you know.
Mine is not also not so good, trust me.
If you could speak French, it would be better.
I'll speak Portuguese. No, if you understand.
Okay.
I'll speak Portuguese to you. Okay. So, Africa is a difficult place to do business with a lot of challenges. What I wanted to know from you is, you said that you guys only implemented this for 6 months.
Yeah.
Even with all these challenges, do you think that it was worth it to have this program, to implement the program? What I'm asking is, you said that you have the program only for 5 months, right?
Yeah.
And we know how complex is Africa to do business. It's a very complicated place to do business. So do you still feel that it was worth it to implement the system, the program?
Yes, I'm very confident. It's why I'm here. Knowing the environment, knowing what is the belief from the people, I think we will succeed to turn off and to bring all the people in the same direction. Very
right.
Confident, yeah.
This is the first part of my question. The second part of it is, I take it that you have not stumbled yet.
I don't have
Stumbled. Because the first speaker
no,
said something about stumbling. And we know how hard it is to get up in Africa.
Yes.
So do you think that you have or do you think that you or the program has the necessary tools to get you back up once you stumble in Africa?
Yes, the program is an excellent tool, but the problem you could face as a factory manager is that you give the tool to the people and they refuse to take the tool. Right. So we spend, as I said, a lot of time to explain to the people why we have to roll out the MBU and what is the benefit from that. And I think the preparation phase is, for me, the most important phase of the rolling out of the MBU. We want to go fast, but take the time to go fast.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.